Hey guys, it's Britt and welcome back to my channel. Today we are making easy whole wheat bread. I wanted to pick a recipe that was simple, comforting, even therapeutic, and had all of the ingredients that you most likely had already in your pantry. This recipe is just that. I love making bread. It's something that is easy. This recipe is really simple. Anyone can do it. And like I said, you probably have all the ingredients already on hand. We are going to make a whole wheat version today. If you are gluten-free, I will be coming out with a gluten-free version eventually. Right now it's just whole wheat. We're going to get started. You need 3 cups of a whole wheat flour. Go ahead and add that to a large bowl. All right, for the yeast for this, I used an active dry yeast, so it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast. And I also will have all of the measurements on our blog post, which is linked down below. So you can go check that out and print it out. This is optional, but you can also add some seasonings to your breads. I really like adding in all sorts of different seasonings, so also in that blog post, I will link all different kinds of combinations, but this is kind of an Italian seasoning that I've added here. Just really nice and simple. And then what you're going to need to do is just toss it in a bowl, mix it all together. You could also add some miso, like a white miso, to your hot water to give it some more flavor, kind of to act as the sodium if you'd like. That's optional. I know some people also add salt to their bread mixtures. All right, everything is well combined. And what you're going to do now is you're going to get some hot water. Now you want your hot water to be anywhere from 100 degrees to like 110 would be ideal. Even you could go to 120. You don't want to go past 120 though, so I have a thermometer that is checking our water. And it's still a little too hot. You just don't want to kill off that yeast, but we do want it to rise. I made one here just a couple minutes ago, and so while this is cooling, I'll just quickly tell you guys about my yesterday, is that I made 9 loaves of whole wheat bread yesterday. They're just so easy to make that literally I made 9 of them, and today I'm making probably 1 more, and then I'll be done. But we made them as kind of just an act of kindness to show our family and friends that we're thinking about them. So I'll post some video of me dropping off the bread that I did yesterday. But it's just a nice way of making something. I left it on the doorstep for the families, and then we just drove to the next place. So I think that is something that you might want to think about doing, checking in on a neighbor. Maybe you want to drop off a loaf of bread to somebody and then leave it on their doorstep. Just little acts of kindness to let people know that you're thinking of them right now. Everything is so unsure, lots of anxiety, lots of unknowns. So I don't know, just a little something extra we could do. And I fortunately had a ton of flour. For some reason I had like loads of it. So this was an easy recipe for me to multiply without going to the store. All right, we are just at that mark now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add our water. It's 2 cups. You want the dough to be a sticky dough, but you want it to be, you don't want to see any of your flour left. So I like to add in kind of half at a time. And then you're going to need a damp towel to cover your dough with. We're going to let this rise for around 3 hours. And then we'll come back, knead it, and get ready to bake. So this is a really simple recipe. Add in the rest. That you guys will love. So this is kind of fair. I just think making bread is a little therapeutic. I think baking in general is. So if you are feeling stressed out, we will get to the kneading part, but even this part is kind of satisfying for stress. So I don't know, just a little thought. And who doesn't love the smell of homemade bread? Yesterday, we came in after we made all those deliveries of the bread, and if I could make that into a candle, I'm sure somebody else already has, but it smells amazing. So you just want to fold in, like I said, your dough is going to be a little sticky. coming together. Takes just about a minute. All right, when you have your dough all ready, I'll post a picture of the dough on the screen now. Go ahead and cover it with a damp, I like a damp rag. That way it'll rise, and then move it away from the sun. It can sit on the countertop, but you just want to move it out of direct sunlight. So I will see you guys in 3 hours for when this rises, and we'll get ready to bake it. But really, really simple and easy recipe. After 3 hours, you can remove your towel from your dough. You should see that it rose quite a lot. I'm going to post a picture of ours right on the screen now so you guys can see. I like to take extra flour and be kind of generous because this is a sticky dough, and put it on the top. Just sprinkle a couple tablespoons on the top, and then you can kind of punch down or scrape down your dough onto a well-floured surface. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a lined parchment piece of paper and line my baking dish. After I'm done with our dough kneading, I'm going to put it back here and cover it to rise while we get everything ready in the oven. But be pretty generous on the flour. We want to make the parts that are sticky be able to handle. And then what you want to do is you're going to start folding it. Anytime you find stickage, you can sprinkle a little bit more dough or a little bit more flour. And then you're just going to knead your dough, and this is what I feel like is very therapeutic because you can take out a lot of frustration out on your dough. But you should see after you've added the flour, it really doesn't stick to your hands. And I like to knead it for maybe like a minute or two. I notice that this helps with getting the dough really airy, not as dense, especially because we're doing a wheat dough or wheat bread. Anytime it starts to get sticky, add some of the extra flour. And just kind of fold it over. Get out that aggression of everything and stress. All right. And whatever shape you make your dough now is what it's going to really bake as. So I try to knead it to where it's pretty, that I like it. That looks pretty good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick it up and put it into your parchment paper. Now, you're going to cover your dough back up with that same towel you had, that damp cloth, and that's going to sit aside. What you're going to do now is you're going to wash your hands, and then you're going to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. You need a Dutch oven with a lid that can be heated in the oven. This is going to be our pot that we cook our dough in. You want to put the pot in with the oven so that it reaches a really hot temperature of that 450, and you remove it. So I'm going to put the lid on my pot, stick it in the oven, preheat it together, and then I'll show you guys whenever it's preheated and hot. We're going to put the dough in, and it's pretty easy from there. So I'm going to go clean on up, and I'll see you guys once everything is preheated. After your oven has preheated with the Dutch oven inside, it's very hot, so you want to use gloves. Go ahead and remove the towel. Your dough has proofed kind of 2 times now. And so you can just lift up the parchment paper carefully and stick it inside your Dutch oven. All right, looks great. Now you can take your lid, put your lid on. This is going to cook it with like a steam combination with the oven, so you really want to make sure you have a lid that's oven safe, and it's going to pretty much steam your bread. Now I'm going to put this back into our oven for around 30 to 35 minutes. You can kind of peek at it at 30 minutes. It may need to go to 35. And we're going to remove the lid at that point and let it bake for an additional 10. And this is just going to let it get nice and crispy on the top and be really nice when you go to cut in and make a crunchy outside with a soft inside. So Again, all of everything is on our website, which is linked down below. You're going to bake it with the lid on for 30 to 35 minutes, take the lid off, do an additional 10, and then we're going to let it cool. So I will see you guys once that's all finished. Remember to remove the lid for an extra 10 minutes after it's baked to make it really crispy and awesome. So I'll see you guys when it's all finished. After you've done the second bake and it's finished, you can go ahead and pull your parchment paper out of your Dutch oven. You want to let it cool completely before you slice into it. It is such an easy recipe. Our house smells so delicious right now. I've already been jumping into this bread. It's so tasty. And you can do so many different things for it. We like to have this with raw almond butter and homemade jam, hummus. We like to carve out and make it a spinach artichoke dip. And that's really nice. I'll post our spinach and artichoke dip recipe up above. We just really adore this recipe. It's so simple. You can make it for your family with the ingredients you probably already have. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and let us know in the comments what you're doing to show kindness right now in the world. I would love to know. And I'll see you guys very soon. But thank you guys so much. See you next time. Bye.